The air in the living room felt heavy, like it was holding its breath, waiting for the world to crack open. I stood frozen by the kitchen door. My fingers still curled around the handle of a coffee mug, its contents long gone cold. The words I'd overheard sliced through me like a dull blade, each syllable carving deeper into my chest. "She deserves a better husband," Jake had said, his voice low but clear, dripping with a smugness that made my skin crawl. My wife, Emily, had laughed, a sharp, nervous sound that didn't quite cover the silence that followed. I waited for her to defend me, to shut him down, to say anything. But she didn't. And that silence, that absence of her voice, was the first betrayal. We'd been married 7 years, Emily and I. 7 years of late-night talks, shared dreams, and the kind of love that felt like it could weather anything. I wasn't perfect. God knows I worked too much, forgot anniversaries sometimes, and left dishes in the sink longer than I should. But I loved her. I loved her with every fiber of my being, the kind of love that makes you feel like you're drowning and flying all at once. She was my anchor, my home. So why was I standing here, heart pounding, feeling like the ground beneath me had vanished? Jake was her friend from college, someone she'd known long before me. He'd always been around, lingering like a shadow at the edges of our life. I never liked him. Too smooth, too charming, with eyes that lingered on Emily a second too long. But I trusted her. I trusted us. Or at least, I thought I did. That night, they were in the living room, catching up over wine while I was supposed to be in the garage, tinkering with my old motorcycle. I'd come in for a glass of water, quiet, unnoticed, when I heard them. His words, her laugh, her silence. It was a moment that changed everything. I stepped into the living room, the mug still in my hand, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. "What's that supposed to mean, Jake?" I asked, my eyes locking onto his. He didn't flinch, just leaned back on the couch, swirling his wine glass like he was auditioning for a villain role in some cheap drama. Emily's head snapped up, her blue eyes wide with something. Guilt? Fear? I couldn't tell. "Tom, it's not what you think," she said quickly, her voice high and shaky. "He was just joking." "Joking?" I repeated, the word tasting bitter. Didn't sound like a joke to me. I turned to Jake, who was still smirking, like he'd won something. "You think I'm not good enough for her? Say it to my face." Jake shrugged, his nonchalance infuriating. "I just call it like I see it, man. Emily's a catch. She deserves someone who's present. Someone who gets her." The room spun for a second. I looked at Emily, waiting for her to jump in, to tell him he was out of line. But she just sat there, her hands twisting in her lap, her gaze darting between us. That silence again. It was louder than any words could have been. "Emily," I said, my voice softer now, almost pleading. "You gonna let him talk about me like that?" She opened her mouth, then closed it. Her eyes glistened, and for a moment, I thought she might cry. "Tom, Jake, you should go." Jake raised an eyebrow, clearly enjoying the tension. "Sure thing, Em." He stood, brushing past me with a look that said he knew something I didn't. The door clicked shut behind him, and the silence that followed was suffocating. "Talk to me," I said, setting the mug down on the coffee table with a thud. "What the hell was that?" Emily stood, wrapping her arms around herself like she was trying to hold something together. "It was nothing, Tom. He's Jake. He says stupid things sometimes." "Nothing." My voice cracked, and I hated how vulnerable it sounded. "You laughed, Emily. You didn't say a word to defend me. You just let him say it." Her face crumpled, and she stepped toward me, reaching out. I flinched, and she stopped, her hand hovering in the air. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she whispered. I was caught off guard. I didn't know what to say. Didn't know what to say? I laughed, a hollow sound. "How about? My husband's a good man. How about, don't talk about him like that?" "Anything, Emily. Anything but silence." She looked away, her jaw tight, and I felt something shift inside me, like a crack spreading through glass. "Do you agree with him?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "Do you think you deserve better?" Her silence was answer enough. The next few days were a blur of tension and avoidance. I slept on the couch, the guest room too final, too much like admitting defeat. Emily tried to talk, but every conversation ended in circles, Her apologizing, me too raw to hear it. I couldn't shake the image of her laugh, the way she'd let Jake's words hang in the air. I started noticing things I hadn't before. Her phone always face down, the late-night texts she'd dismiss as just work. The way she'd linger at the mirror before meeting Jake for coffee. Doubt crept in, cold and insidious, wrapping itself around every memory of us. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. She was in the shower, her phone left on the kitchen counter. My hands shook as I picked it up. I'd never done this before, never felt the need to invade her privacy. But I needed answers. I typed in her passcode, our anniversary, or so I thought. It didn't work. My stomach dropped. I tried again, then realized she'd changed it. When had she done that? Why? I set the phone down, my heart hammering. When she came out, wrapped in a towel, her wet hair dripping onto the floor, I couldn't hold it in. Why'd you change your passcode? I asked, my voice sharp. She froze, her eyes flicking to the phone. What? Your passcode? It's not our anniversary anymore. Why? She swallowed, clutching the towel tighter. I just needed some privacy, Tom. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal? I stepped closer, my voice rising despite myself. You're hiding something. I can feel it. Are you and Jake, are you? No, she cut me off, her voice fierce. God, Tom, no. How could you even think that? Then why the secrecy? Why the silence? Why do I feel like I'm losing you? My voice broke, and I hated it, hated how exposed I felt. But I couldn't stop. I heard what he said, Emily. And I saw what you didn't say. If you're not happy, if you think he's right, just tell me. Don't let me drown in this. Tears spilled down her cheeks, and she sank onto the couch, her shoulders shaking. I don't know what I feel, she whispered. I love you, Tom. I do. But sometimes I wonder if this is all there is. If this is enough. Her words hit like a punch, stealing my breath. I sat down across from her, the distance between us feeling like miles. Enough? I echoed. I've given you everything I have, Emily. My heart, my life, everything. If that's not enough, then what is? She looked at me, her eyes full of pain and something else, regret, maybe, or shame. I don't know, she said, her voice barely audible. Jake, he makes me feel seen. Like I'm more than just a wife or a mom. I know it's wrong. I know it's not fair to you. But I don't know how to stop feeling it. I stood, my hands shaking, my world crumbling. So what are you saying? You're in love with him? No. She stood too, reaching for me, but I stepped back. I'm not in love with him. I don't know who I am anymore, Tom. I'm lost. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to demand she choose me, choose us. But all I could do was stand there, my heart breaking in slow motion. I need to know where we stand, I said finally. I can't keep living like this, wondering if you're mine or if you're just waiting for something better. She sobbed, covering her face with her hands. I don't want to lose you, she said. I just need time to figure this out. Time. It felt like a death sentence. But I nodded, because what else could I do? I loved her too much to walk away. Even if every step forward felt like walking on glass. The weeks that followed were agony. We moved around each other like ghosts, polite but distant. I threw myself into work, staying late to avoid the emptiness of our home. Emily started therapy, promising she'd figure out what she wanted. But the trust was gone, shattered by her silence, her doubts, her connection with Jake. I couldn't look at her without seeing his smirk, hearing his words. One night, I came home to find her sitting at the kitchen table, a letter in her hand. Her eyes were red, but there was a clarity in them I hadn't seen in months. Tom, she said, her voice steady. I owe you an apology. A real one. I sat down, bracing myself. Go on. I was wrong, she said, her voice breaking. I let Jake get in my head. I let myself question us, question you. You've been nothing but good to me, and I betrayed that. Not with him, not like that, but in my heart. I stopped choosing you, and I'm so sorry. I wanted to believe her. Wanted to let her words heal the ache in my chest. But trust, once broken, doesn't mend so easily. What now? I asked, my voice hoarse. I want to fight for us, she said, reaching for my hand. This time, I didn't pull away. I told Jake we're done. I changed my passcode back. I'm in therapy, trying to understand why I let this happen. But I need you to know I choose you, Tom. I always will. I looked at her, at the woman I'd loved for 7 years. The woman who'd broken my heart, and was now trying to piece it back together. I wanted to believe her, but the pain was still there, sharp and raw. I don't know if I can trust you again, I admitted. Not yet. She nodded, tears falling. I'll wait, she said. I'll do whatever it takes. I squeezed her hand, feeling the weight of her words, the weight of our love. It wasn't fixed, not yet. But for the first time in weeks, I felt a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, we could find our way back. Not to what we were, but to something new, something stronger. Because even in the wreckage of betrayal, love has a way of fighting to survive.